Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to ride a motorcycle. But first, it's very important that we don't startle it. There it is, in its natural habitat. We don't want to spook it. It's a wild beast. They have a blind spot if you approach from the back at about this angle. They can't see you coming. Just make your way towards it, nice and slow, nice and quiet. And then once you get in range, you gotta pounce on it. Gotcha. Whoa, it's wild. Whoa, try and get away. I got it though. I think I got this. Stop. All right. I've captured it. And that's how you ride a motorcycle. Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to ride one of these things. Let's start by going over the parts. Alright, so first of all, we got our brakes. Right here, this is the front brake for the front tire. The foot brake right here is for the back tire. You want to use about 75% this brake, 25% this brake, because your front brakes have most of your stopping power. Here's the throttle, obviously. This is the clutch. And this is the shifter right here. This is how you'll shift gears. Most bikes for the gears have first gear at the bottom, then neutral, and then the rest of the gears above that. Most bikes have some sort of way to tell you if it's in neutral or not. So I'm going to turn this bad boy on. And I can see that my neutral light is on. If you're not sure when a bike is in neutral, it can roll freely. The engine isn't stopping it from rolling. We're going to want to start her up in neutral. Press my start button. Should be good. If your bike doesn't start, probably got your engine stop switch off or it's broken. The hardest part about riding a bike is figuring out what the clutch does. The easiest way I can put it is that it's the neutral switch. When you hold the clutch in, your bike is acting as if it was in neutral. So if we were to put our bike into first gear, all you need to do is you're going to hold the clutch in. Once the clutch is in, the bike is basically in neutral, so we can shift gears freely because it's still going to act like it's in neutral, so I can still roll forward and backwards as I need. If I were to let out of the clutch, basically the more I let it out, the more power the bike is getting from the engine. So if I were to let it out a little bit, my bike's going to start to roll forward really slowly. If I let it out more, it'll roll out more. You're never going to want to let out the clutch all the way without giving it gas, because then your bike will die like that. Before you were to ride a bike, make sure you understand how the shift lever works, okay? So if we're shifting, I'm going to kick it down. So my neutral switch is off. That means I'm in first gear, because first, neutral, second. If I were to kick it straight up, I'm in second gear now. But wait, where'd neutral go? Neutral is half a click in between first and second. So if I lightly kick it down, I'm in neutral. I can let out of the clutch. First to neutral is also lightly kicking it up. Alright, you can see I'm in neutral. And when you're in neutral or when your clutch is in, giving it gas does not actually do anything. Alright, let's get into moving the bike. So, what you're going to do is you hold the clutch in, get it into first gear. You're always going to want to start in first gear. And to start moving, you can practice by slowly letting out the clutch and your bike will move forward. So when you're moving forward, just make sure you practice using your brakes. I'm going to press my front brake in here to stop. I would recommend finding yourself a nifty back road or a large parking lot to practice in. Alright, so remember we're in first gear. We're kicked all the way down. If you're unsure, just hold the clutch in, stomp on it a couple times, make sure it's down. My clutch is in all the way. You're going to want to roll on the gas a little and let out the clutch at the same time. You'll figure out how much clutch and how much gas to give it as you practice. So I'm going to let out the clutch a little bit, start rolling. I'm going to be giving it a little bit of gas. And now I can lift my feet up onto the pegs. My clutch is out all the way and I'm giving it gas. Alright, so I'm in first gear. My RPMs are getting pretty high, so we're going to have to shift gears. So you pull the clutch in and let out the gas at about the same time. Kick it up into second gear. Give it a little gas and let out of the clutch again. Now I'm in second gear. and I can allow for my RPMs to get a little higher. Once I feel they're pretty high again, I'll shift up again just like that. Clutch in, throttle out, kick that lever up, give it a little gas, and let out of the clutch at the same time. Now we're in third gear. When you're stopping, you want your clutch in, use your brakes, and then you can shift down. So remember, when you're stopping, you want your clutch to be all the way in because that's acting as if you're in neutral, so you'll just roll. Then you can use your handbrake and a little bit of your foot brake to slowly stop you to where you need. And then make sure before we take off again that you're shifted down all the way back into first gear. If you're ever unsure or get scared, the number one rule is, I would say, pull in your clutch. Pulling in your clutch is going to make it so you can't give it too much throttle. You'll just start rolling and your engine will be disengaged. So say I'm going too fast, or I'm just unsure of what I'm doing or what gear I'm in, I'm just going to pull in the clutch and keep that clutch in until I'm comfortable again, which is usually stopped or rolling at a nice pace. Alright, let's try this again. So I'm in neutral, I'm going to pull my clutch in, kick it down into first gear, slowly let out of the clutch and give it a little bit of gas. You want to get that going at the same time. So we're in first gear, my RPMs are getting high. We'll go clutch in, throttle out, kick it up to second, throttle in, clutch out. Alright, RPMs are getting high. Clutch in, throttle out, kick it up to third, throttle in, clutch out. And you do that all the way up your shifting ladder. That's not an official term, I just made that up right now. Make sure that when you're taking off, you don't lift your feet up too fast. Don't be afraid to walk with it a little bit. Turning on a motorcycle is obviously different than turning in a car. Depends on whether you're going low speed or high speed. When you're going low speed, you're going to be using the handlebars to actually turn you. But at higher speeds, it's going to be leaning and counter steering. So I'm going to go around this turn nice and slow. Stay in first gear. I'm going to let out the clutch, give it a little gas, and I'm just turning the handlebars. When you're coming up to a turn going a little faster, make sure you're at a comfortable speed. Don't be afraid to go a little slower around turns. I'm going to be in second gear for this one. And it's mostly a lean. You don't really have to think about it though. Leaning through the turn, and I'm just consistent. I don't pull on my clutch. I don't hit my brake while I'm turning. If you hit your brake while you're turning, your bike could launch back up and you could tip over. So just be consistent through the turn. Alright, so I've taught you how to shift up. But shifting back down from a higher speed to a lower speed isn't always just holding your clutch in and coming to a stop. Sometimes you want to progressively get to a lower speed. So let's get on a faster road and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, I'm in fifth gear, going about 55 miles an hour, and the speed limit drops to 40 here. So what I'm going to do is hold in my clutch and let my speed get down. Maybe use my brakes if I want to slow down a little faster. My clutch is in, throttle's out. I'll kick it down to fourth gear. I'll let out of my clutch slowly and start giving it gas. Now I'm going about 40 miles an hour. I'm in fourth gear and I just shifted down from fifth to fourth. If I was up in a higher gear and I need to shift down quickly or get to a stop quickly, I'm probably just going to pull my clutch in, shift all the way down, and then use my brakes to stop me instead of going down the ladder because that could take more time. There is another way to stop your motorcycle called engine braking, which is a little more advanced and you can wait a little bit until you figure that out. When I first started riding, I just pulled my clutch in and used my brakes to stop me, but using your engine can save your brakes a little bit. So here I'm going 45 and it's about to change to 30. If I need to slow down using my engine, or if I want to, I can shift down in a gear, and when I let out of the clutch without giving it gas, my engine pulls and it slows me down. And I can shift down again, let out of the clutch without using my gas, and it'll slow me down even more. So engine braking is basically being in a lower gear than you should be, letting out of your clutch slowly and using that to assist your brakes. If you do need a brake or stop fast for whatever reason, make sure that you use about 75% handbrake and the rest on your foot brake. If you use too much foot brake, your back tire can skid out and you can tip it over. Remember, you get most of your stopping power from your front brakes. There are plenty more advanced techniques you can learn while riding. This is mostly basic stuff, maybe a couple tips for preventing some issues in the future. I'd recommend searching up your nearest motorcycle safety course, running yourself through that, because they can also help you get your motorcycle license, so that's nice too.
Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day and ride safe.